Welcome back. You're watching Overdrive. Now, just before the break, you saw Bert review the Audi A3. That car is going to be crucial to Audi's India strategy. But let's continue our conversation with Perschke, the Managing Director of Audi India, as he talks to us about the company's product pipeline, the petrol versus diesel dilemma, and how Audi intends to get to the #1 spot in the Indian luxury car market.
So Michael, from my opinion on that story, I think it was a very positive feel of what the A3 can offer, not just globally, but for the Indian market as well. Now, Audi is the second largest manufacturer in the premium segment in India. And with the Q3 pricing, I'm talking about India right now, but Q3 pricing, I think was phenomenal. It hit the spot. Do you think the A3 sedan can help you, can be the move that not just takes you ahead, but moves you way ahead of the rest?
I think the A3 will be definitely another very important building block for the strategy. As you said, the Q3 just started. Bookings are coming in. We had a couple of booking parties all over the country. We've seen phenomenal feedback. As you said, I think with the pricing, especially considering that currently it's still an FBU, we worked very hard and we had to convince our headquarter quite a bit that the pricing is meeting market expectations and gives us also a certain volume. You don't want to launch a car and then only have homeopathic doses. You want to make an impact, and I think this month we will have substantial deliveries already kicking in. So I think our growth compared to last year should be significant.
Okay, I'm going to bounce back to the A3 now. And, 5-door sedan, where do you think it would be positioned if you ever offer it down to the Indian consumers?
I think the strategic price positioning we have to look is the 20 to 30 lakh segment. Now at the upper end we have the A4 and then we have a Q3, which is above 25 lakhs plus, depending on features and packages, going to a, let's say, early 30 lakhs price point. So definitely we have to be in the lower end of the 20 lakhs bracket. And there are lots of questions we have to ask because that segment is a new segment and we are competing with a lot of premium players. So as a luxury player, you go there, you need to clearly find an equation how much you compromise on features to get an attractive price, but still stay ahead of your competition, which is a premium manufacturers. And I think that analysis we have not fully completed yet.
Do you also think that the sedans, the standard sedans that you sell, not just Audi, but all manufacturers, premium manufacturers in India, has reached sort of a saturation point, and that you need to now look at these alternative segments, probably the cabriolets, the performance segments, and sort of to bring more people into the fold?
But I think the best segment still is the SUV segment. I mean, we are market leader with the Q5 and the Q7. Now with the
and expecting the Q3 as well.
Yeah, not this year, that's not realistic, but as soon as we start manufacturing in India, of course we want to go for it, and we see that that segment has a lot of pull. As I said, there's a lot of SUVs introduced in the 10 to 20 lakhs sector. When you see what kind of pull they are getting, if the product is right, the pricing is right. Now with the Audi badge, with the Quattro technology and the Q7 and the Q5 Halo models, I see that the SUV is probably the most promising segment and continues to be for us. Saloon, as you rightly said, there is a segment, but it's not having the same growth like the SUV. And then you have niche models, like you said, a convertible. Definitely we have the R8 Spider, that's our cheapest convertible. I think there's room for more convertibles, there's more room for sports cars. But at the end of the day, you have an RS5, which is very much a niche, and we expect much more volume coming out of an S4 because it's a 4-door, so it's much more day-to-day usage friendly. And I think you need to do the Halo things, but you need to first look still as your core business.
Now there's this new, or rather I wouldn't say new, but this is a heritage for India where the petrol and diesel question always comes into play. So do you think the Halo always will be the petrol section and will sort of the more consumer-oriented cars, and the more, would be the diesels?
We're talking right now about a project which has been in the press. I can't confirm it, but it's at least something which is flying around as a goat. For example, an SQ5. Yeah? Could be an interesting idea. It's not confirmed yet, but this kind of things, you can even have an S line maybe on diesel models. Now, where it fits in, something for Germany to decide, but I can see that you can play so much more with diesel, which I think the technology still has so much more of pedigree. And I mean, we were the first to take the diesel onto the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And this year we have the halo of our models, which is a Quattro, e-tron, ultra, lightweight, everything in one car. And I think that's pinnacle of our technology. So I think diesel hybrid, for example, interesting. That turbo powered, performance oriented, but still efficient. I think there's so much to play around with diesel. There's probably, especially markets like India, Italy and others, which are strong diesel heritage countries, the diesel performance cars will definitely challenge the petrol performance cars.
Okay, off the top of your head right now, I mean, Audi has always had this very celebrated lifestyle in India, a lot of connections with celebrities and all that. Q3, who do you directly associate as a fantastic brand ambassador or a spokesperson for the Q3? And going ahead in the future, if you do get the A3 down, who do you think would sort of match the A3?
Well, for Q3, probably I would name some who have a Q7 already and use the Q7 for the week, for the film shoots to go out, but mainly being at the backside, being driven with all the equipment. And then at the weekend, for example, take the car and go and use it in the urban jungle. So I think as a second car for the Q7 family, perfect.
You know, I also like this reference of yours. You sort of pinpointed that the Q3, and I'm assuming that even the A3 at some point or the other would appeal to women also, largely women. I mean, is this the new phenomenon that's sort of taking place? I mean, where manufacturers now looking closer? Because this is not just Audi. I've heard this from several other manufacturers as well.
See, Audi as a brand goes very well with their target audience. And the Q5, you would be surprised, but Q5 you have probably 30% women constantly driving it. They might not yet be the buyers, maybe their husband buys it, but you see a lot of women driving Q5s. Q3, probably it would go up to 35-40%. And I think A3 depends which body type concept we use and how we position it. Probably also 15, 20, 25% for women is very important that you get the right colors. You get also these kind of luxury features which women appreciate. So I think there's also different positioning and packaging. But definitely we as a brand feel that we have a lot of appeal from women, maybe more than one or the other of my core competitors, because we always covered that spectrum, especially with the Q7 already.
And so there, we've got a fairly good idea of what Audi is up to for the next 2 years in India. Thanks to a wonderful discussion we've had with Michael. Thank you for being on the show, Michael.
Thanks.
We've had a lot of fun driving these cars, and I think in the future, you two are going to enjoy them.